She looks perfect, the lashes, the lips, the curves, but behind that beauty is hunger, not for love, not for truth, but for attention, control, and endless pleasure. You think she wants you? Nope. She wants the feeling of being wanted, and here's the twist, she doesn't even know it. That's how deep this goes. You're just another offering, in a society built on pleasure. But how did we end up here? How did women go from being seen as caretakers of tradition to performers in a world that rewards seduction, filters, and attention? This is where we begin, with the rise of what Camille Paglia calls the pleasure society. Part 1. The rise of the pleasure society. Let's take a step back. How did we go from women being judged for showing too much skin to a world where teenage girls compete to go viral by showing as much as they can? We now live in a world obsessed with instant gratification, surface-level beauty, and emotional highs. Think about it. Today, more people know Kim Kardashian's latest outfit than their own neighbor's name. We don't connect anymore. We scroll, we swipe, we consume. Camille Paglia says, we've entered a pleasure society, a world where everything is about how you look, how you feel right now, and how much attention you can get. Think about this. A girl posts a picture in a bikini, she gets 2,000 likes. She posts a book review, 50 likes. Guess which one she's going to post next? It's not because she's evil or shallow, it's because this society rewards pleasure, not substance. We've created an environment where fast is better than deep, loud is better than wise, sexy is better than smart. And it's not just women, everyone's caught in it. But here's the twist, women are rewarded the most and also punished the most. Let me give you a simple example. Let's say two friends, Emily and Chloe, both want to start a YouTube channel. Emily focuses on fashion hauls and dances. Chloe talks about psychology and books. Who do you think hits 100,000 subscribers first? Exactly. And after a while, Chloe either gives up or becomes like Emily, not because she wants to, but because the algorithm trained her. This is what Paglia was warning about. It's not that women chose to be this way. It's that society has trained them, since childhood, that their greatest power is not wisdom, not depth, but beauty and sensuality. But here's the part no one wants to say out loud. This didn't just happen to women, it happened with the help of feminism. Not the kind that fought for voting rights or equality at work. I'm talking about the modern version, the one that says, you go girl, post whatever you want, your body, your power. But is it really power? Or is it just addiction in disguise? This is where Camille Paglia drops the bomb. She says, feminism has a blind spot, a dangerous one. Part 2, feminism's blind spot. Let's be honest, feminism was supposed to free women, and in many ways, it did. It gave women a voice, it opened doors. It said, you're not just a wife or a mother, you can be more. But then something strange happened. Feminism stopped challenging the system and started celebrating the system that traps women in the first place. Paglia saw this shift early on. She wasn't against women's rights. She was for women owning their power fully, even the dark, sexual, messy parts. But she said modern feminism started pretending that women are always pure, innocent victims, and men are always the evil predators. But is that the whole story? Let's take an example. You've seen it online. A girl posts a super revealing photo and gets flooded with comments. When someone calls it attention-seeking, the response is, stop judging women, she's just expressing herself. But Camille Paglia would ask, is that really self-expression, or is that a cry for validation? She believed women are not just victims of society, they're also participants, and sometimes even manipulators within it. Not out of cruelty, but because this culture rewards beauty, seduction, and performance. So if you want attention, you learn to play the game. Modern feminism often acts like that game doesn't exist, or worse, that playing it is empowerment. But Paglia said no, that's not power, that's dependence. Because if your power only works when people are watching you, then you're not free, you're performing. And the scary part? Most women don't even realize it's happening. Before we move on, ask yourself this. If everything today is about showing off, then what's left to actually feel? You can post selfies all day, get hundreds of DMs, thousands of likes, maybe even get flown out by a rich guy trying to impress you. But when the screen goes dark and you're alone with your thoughts, why does it still feel so hollow? That's because we took something deep, emotional, and once sacred and turned it into a product, a performance, a marketing tool. And that's where things really start to break down. Let's talk about it in the next part. Part 3, pleasure, power, and the loss of meaning. Camille Paglia believed that modern culture has stripped the mystery and depth out of intimacy. In the past, connection between people, especially between men and women, was treated as something powerful. It came with weight, with responsibility, and often with emotional risk. But now, it's been flattened into a casual, forgettable transaction. Everything is fast, everything is surface. We've made pleasure so available, so on demand, that it's no longer special. And when something isn't special, it starts to lose its meaning. Let's say you eat chocolate once a month. You enjoy every bite, you remember it. Now imagine eating 20 bars a day for a year. After a while, it doesn't even taste like chocolate anymore. That's what's happened to emotional and physical connection in today's world. It's everywhere, and yet nobody feels satisfied. Paglia warned that when a society becomes too focused on pleasure, people stop seeking truth and start seeking escape. You might see a girl posting her 5th mirror selfie of the day, but underneath that pose, she's wondering why she still feels unseen, why her confidence only lasts a few minutes before she needs another hit of attention. And men aren't doing much better. They scroll, they chase, they ghost, and they wonder why nothing feels real anymore. In this world, relationships aren't built, they're clicked. Commitment isn't earned, it's swiped past. And meaning? Well, meaning is too slow for this culture. That's what Paglia meant when she said we're living in a pleasure society, a world full of stimulation but starving for depth. Next, we explore what this means for identity, because when a woman is trained to perform for the world instead of knowing herself, something inside begins to crack. Part 4. The woman as spectacle, not self. In a pleasure-driven world, women are taught something dangerous, that their value comes from how they look, not who they are. Camille Paglia saw this happening decades ago. Even before Instagram, she warned that modern culture was turning women into spectacles. Not individuals with inner depth, but performers on a stage called the internet. Think about this. Today, a girl might spend more time picking a filter for her photo than actually spending time with real people. She's not doing it to express herself. She's doing it to match the algorithm, to get more likes, to avoid being ignored. And it's not just online, it affects everything. From how she walks, to how she dresses, to what she talks about on a first date. It's all a performance. Let's say a girl named Lily starts feeling insecure because her post didn't get enough likes. So she posts something more bold. It works. She gets attention. Now she feels powerful, but only for a moment. Then the doubt creeps back in. The anxiety, the comparison, the craving for more. Paglia would say, she's not being herself anymore. She's playing a character, one she didn't even create. This is the tragedy no one talks about. We tell women, be confident, be authentic. But from a young age, they've been trained to perform for approval, to obsess over how they appear, not how they feel inside. Even confidence becomes a show. Even rebellion becomes a trend. And after years of playing roles, many women don't even know who they are anymore. The saddest part? While women are out here performing, editing, and posing, men are watching, scrolling, simping, numbing themselves. We think it's only women getting lost in this pleasure trap. But behind every photo, every thirst trap, every OnlyFans subscription, there's a man who's quietly drifting, away from purpose, away from growth, away from real life. Let's talk about it. Part 5. The collapse of male purpose. While women are being trained to perform, men are being trained to watch, scroll, like, DM, repeat. At first, it feels fun, easy. Why go out and risk rejection when everything you want is on a screen? But over time, something deeper breaks down. Camille Paglia warned us. In a society built on pleasure, men lose their edge. Let's take an example. Meet Jake. He used to be ambitious. He wanted to build something, improve himself, make a mark. Now, he spends 3 hours a day watching influencers, scrolling reels, and chasing digital highs. And here's the worst part. He doesn't even feel alive anymore. He feels used, like the pleasure he's chasing is just making him weaker. Paglia believed that when a man stops chasing purpose, he starts chasing comfort. And comfort kills something inside. It's not just about relationships. It's about energy, direction, strength. All of it fades when a man gives his attention away to things that give nothing back. In today's culture, men are told, just relax, enjoy yourself. No need to try so hard. She'll like you for who you are. But in reality, the more a man consumes, the less he creates. The more he worships pleasure, the less he respects himself. And without that self-respect, he becomes exactly what the system wants. Passive, addicted, powerless. So now you've got women performing, men watching, and both sides feeling more alone than ever. They were promised freedom, freedom to express, freedom to choose, freedom to chase whatever feels good. But no one told them that this kind of freedom comes with a hidden cost. A cost most people won't realize until it's too late. Let's talk about that. Part 6. The Tragedy of Liberation. Freedom sounds like a beautiful thing, and it is when it comes with wisdom. But in today's world, freedom often just means do whatever you want, feel whatever you want, chase whatever feels good. Camille Paglia saw the danger in this early on. She said, if we disconnect freedom from responsibility and meaning, it becomes chaos in disguise. Let's break this down. Modern women are told, you don't need a man, you can build your career, explore, travel, hook up, post whatever you want. You're in control now, and at first it feels amazing, but fast forward 10 years, she's exhausted, she's overexposed, she's emotionally numb, she's had the freedom to do everything, and now doesn't know what any of it meant. Men aren't doing any better. They were told, don't be too masculine, don't lead, just support, don't pursue your purpose too hard. It's toxic. So now, many of them feel weak, invisible, lost. They've had the freedom to not care, and now they don't know how to truly show up. This is the tragedy Paglia was pointing to. Freedom without inner strength becomes self-destruction. When everyone is chasing pleasure and calling it empowerment, they don't realize that what they're really doing is running away from themselves. And what's left is a culture full of people who are constantly performing, but secretly falling apart. Now we reach the final truth. Women are not the enemy, men are not the villains. They're both trapped in the same system. Let's finish this journey with the real answer, how to see through the illusion and break free. Part 7, she's not the enemy, the system is. It's easy to point fingers. Men blame women for being attention-seeking. Women blame men for being weak, distant, or toxic. But Camille Paglia saw through all of this. She said, stop blaming each other. Start looking at the system that's shaping you both. Think about it. That girl posting selfies? She didn't wake up one day craving likes. She was trained by apps, ads, influencers to believe her worth is in her image. That guy who can't commit or focus, he didn't choose to be lost. He was raised in a culture that told him to sit down, shut up, and stay soft. Neither of them is free, because the pleasure society doesn't want freedom. It wants addiction. Addiction to likes, to praise, to performance, to comfort, to being seen, even if it means losing who you are. But here's the truth no one tells you. You can step out. You don't have to be another offering. You don't have to keep performing. You don't have to keep chasing empty highs. You don't have to follow the script. You can be the one who sees through the illusion and chooses something real. Because once you stop living for pleasure, you make space for purpose. And in a world that's starving for meaning, that's the most rebellious thing you can do. If this video made you think, like, share, and comment below. Why do you think women have become this way in today's world? I'll be reading your thoughts. And if you want more content like this, don't forget to subscribe.